What if one of the greatest medical breakthroughs in history began with a forgotten lab dish? In 1928, a Scottish scientist named Alexander Fleming returned to his laboratory after a vacation and noticed something unusual. One of his petri dishes had been contaminated by mold. Most people would have thrown it away without a second thought. But Fleming saw something remarkable. The bacteria around the mold had been destroyed. That strange observation would eventually lead to one of the most important discoveries in medicine, penicillin. To understand why this mattered so much, you have to imagine the world before antibiotics. Infections that seem minor today could become deadly. A cut, a dental abscess, pneumonia, or even a simple wound could turn into a life-threatening condition. Doctors had very few reliable ways to fight bacterial infections. Surgery was risky, childbirth could be dangerous, and soldiers often died not only from injuries, but from infection afterward. Fleming was not trying to make history that day. He was studying bacteria in the hope of finding substances that could kill them. What he found was a mold from the Penicillium genus, and the substance it produced stopped bacterial growth. He called it penicillin. At first, the discovery did not immediately change the world. Fleming knew he had found something important, but penicillin was difficult to isolate and produce in useful amounts. For years, the discovery remained more of a scientific curiosity than a practical medicine. The real breakthrough came later, when other researchers began working on how to purify it and produce it on a large scale. During the late 1930s and early 1940s, scientists Howard Florey, Ernst Boris Chain, and their team at Oxford made major progress in turning Fleming's observation into an actual treatment. They proved penicillin could save lives in real patients, and they worked to solve the practical problem of manufacturing enough of it. Then World War II gave the discovery urgent importance. Soldiers were suffering from infected wounds, and there was a desperate need for effective treatment. Penicillin became one of the most powerful medical tools of the war. It reduced deaths from infection and changed battlefield medicine forever. After the war, penicillin entered general medical use and transformed healthcare worldwide. Infections that once killed millions became far easier to treat. Doctors could now perform surgeries with much greater confidence. Mothers and newborns benefited. Hospitals changed. Average life expectancy began to rise as bacterial infections became less deadly. But penicillin also taught an important lesson. Scientific discoveries are often not the work of one moment alone. Fleming noticed the mold, but other scientists had to develop, test, refine, and mass-produce the drug before it could truly change the world. Discovery is sometimes the first step in a much longer journey. Penicillin also opened the door to the age of antibiotics. After it came many other life-saving drugs that helped fight bacterial diseases. Modern medicine as we know it would be hard to imagine without that breakthrough. And yet penicillin also reminds us that even the most powerful medicines must be used carefully. Over time, bacteria can become resistant to antibiotics if they are overused or misused. So the story of penicillin is not only a story of triumph, it is also a warning about responsibility. What began as a moldy petri dish became a revolution in medicine. A moment of observation changed the future of surgery, infection treatment, and human survival. That is the story of penicillin, a discovery that saved millions and a reminder that history can begin in the most unexpected places.